Now we're gonna watch something. And it's this one. Path of Exile 2 Duelist Deep Dive and 0.5.5 Event League. Shall we?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2, and today I'm excited to show off our new class, the Duelist,
Yes.
which will be available in the 1.0 release on December the 11th.
Guess what we are going to play when the game comes out? Exactly, the Sword Dude.
But for those of you who just can't wait until 1.0 later this year, after showing the Duelist, we'll also be showing off a new event based on the Ritual League called the Forbidden Rites, which will be releasing next week along with the 055 update. And after all that, a Q&A with Ziggy D to answer your questions from Twitch chat. But not only that, afterwards we'll be going straight to the final qualifier for the PoE2 races, the winner of which will be going to ExileCon in November to compete in the finals. But first, the Duelist.
Yes.
Now the Duelist comes with a new weapon type that it's kind of crazy we didn't have, swords. And with each new weapon type, we want to make sure that the playstyle feels different to all the others. So what defines combat with a sword? To us, it's that feeling of flow, from attack to attack, and from stance to stance. And what better place to demonstrate the Duelist's abilities than the ruins of the Grand Arena? The corpses of the dead continue to fight endlessly as the arena collapses around them. And should you get to the center, you'll be able to face Thrax, their champion. The first mechanic we need to talk about is Ready Stance. After using some Duelist skills, you can keep holding the button to ready your blades for your next strike. Normally, your basic sword slash would look like this. But in Ready Stance, it turns into a deadly AoE slash instead.
Oh.
Your Ready Stance also has the ability to be upgraded. This is...
We have stances in PoE1 already, of course. And they change how abilities work. Depending on the ability you are using, right?
Sand Scour, another Ready Stance attack. And if you stun enemies with it, you'll enter Sand Stance. And using this with your default attack will send out a Sand Disc. But default attack isn't the only ability that can be modified by your stance. Like Perforate, for example. This skill is a triple stab, where the third strike sends out drills, bleeding your enemies. But from Ready Stance, you can skip right to the drills. If you use it from Sand Stance though, it will send out a bunch of mini sand discs from every enemy it hits. Perfect for large packs. Together, these basic abilities...
And now you have more projectiles on it. And maybe if you can make them bounce. And you make them cause bleeding. Yeah, I can see that this is good.
Give a very unique feel to sword combat. It's quite different than any other class we've made, flowing from ability to ability. There's also some abilities that you can use while in Ready Stance, without breaking it. A good example are war cries, like this one, Intimidate.
Time to die!
Use it to deliver a cutting insult to your foe, intimidating them and causing your next attack to knock them off balance. Another great ability you can use already is Rending Dash. This,
by the way, just a side note, all these monsters are new. At least for PoE2. These goat people, I think they're an advancement of the goat people in PoE1. But yeah, are all new enemies.
movement skill slices through monsters, but since you stay in Ready Stance, it allows you to reposition to the perfect angle to strike. So far, we've been using Sand Stance to tackle these enemies. But what about Blood Stance? For that, we'll need to switch from two-hand to dual wield.
Nice.
Now with swords, we wanted to make sure that the different options of one-hand, two-hand, or dual wield each have their own interesting playstyle. So unlike other weapon types, dual wielding swords gives you the ability to parry attacks.
Oh.
Follow up with Bloodied Blade to enter Blood Stance. When using this one with default attack,
and the important thing is, now that we can parry is now one of these major defenses that you need to build up if you use, swords. Great.
You'll create a deadly blood wave, causing your enemies to bleed. And of course, Blood Stance will also work with other skills that benefit from stances. So use it with Perforate, for example, and you'll get a bunch of mini blood novas. Once your enemies are bleeding, you might want to try out Hemorrhage. This skill creates deadly blood slashes that drastically speed up the bleeding on your enemies. And once the enemies have built up enough blood loss, slice through them with a Rending Dash to consume all the blood loss for...
Wait, is that just another version of the Chimera? But one that looks even better? And it has several heads? I just wanted to praise the design because this looks amazing. But then I just, realized it's just a Chimera.
a Giga Bleed.
I was born for this.
Now, one skill we couldn't have made the Duelist without is Cyclone. It's an absolute fan favorite, and just like before, when using it, you can spin to win. But this class is all about using stances, so how about we try it with one of those? Use Cyclone from Sand Stance, and you'll be spewing sand discs at your enemies left and right. Great for AoE clear. Now, Parry also had a significant upgrade compared to before, and it's a lot more reliable now. But there's also another way to parry monsters that doesn't require waiting for them to attack you.
Sword and shield combo, nice.
By switching to a shield, you can now bash enemies straight out of ready stance to parry them without waiting for an attack.
This shit is cool.
During the arena's heyday, challengers would first have to face deadly beasts to test their mettle, so why should it be any different now? Before you can face Thrax, you will need to defeat these dangerous adversaries to prove your worth.
I can see that you want life leech when playing this guy. Or, melee builds in general.
Another trick the Duelist has up his sleeves are buried blades. Earthrend creates blades that slice through the ground towards your enemies. And once in the ground, these blades have a few uses. The first one of these can be done using Charged Slash. The basic version is a simple lightning-infused cleave, but do it from ready stance, and it changes into a deadly spin, sending out lightning projectiles. But Charged Slash can also be used with the buried blades. Hitting them will turn them into mini Tesla coils, dealing lightning damage to nearby enemies.
That's cool.
It seems here we have a warrior who refused to die. I'm sure we could put his equipment to better use.
Oh, that's neat.
Quiet. I've no guilt in this.
Also, they're showing off a new zone. Just as a side note, new zone. And it looks good. It really looks good.
You could also switch to a two-hander to plunge your blade into the ground, sending out a set of 3 blades that explode. But if you use Earthrend first, then you can get even more blades, and the blade plunge will make all of them explode. If you want an even greater field of blades, using ready stance with Earthrend has an interesting effect. Instead of creating one blade, it makes an entire wall of them. You can also hold the blade plunge skill to charge up the swords even further before they explode.
I see.
Ooh, watch out for those chimeras. So for maximum damage, use ready stance into Earthrend, charge them up with Charge Slash, and do a held blade plunge for a massive explosion. But that's not all. Blood and Sand work with the blade plunge too, to empower all your buried blades. Use it with sand to generate continuous sandstorms around all your blades. And this can be a devastating combo to blend bosses. Or use it with blood to create blood pools around each blade. Cycloning through the blood pools will add blood to your cyclone, so that can be a fun option. But while we're talking about that, Cyclone counts as a storm, so it can pick up other elemental ground effects too. Blade Conduit will summon a bolt of lightning to your blade and create shocking ground, and cycloning through it will add lightning to your cyclone.
Oh my god.
Combine it with the blood to get both effects. And of course, it's possible to get blood, sand, ice, fire, and lightning all at the same time on your cyclone. You guys will have to work out a good build for that yourselves.
Oh my god, the possibilities. Oh my god. The thing where this game shines. Possibilities. And here we have the rage counter, when I remember correctly.
Already you can see from just the tools I've shown you, this class has a lot of interesting combinations of abilities. With even just a few skills, there are a huge number of options you can do in combat. Now before we get to the boss fight of this area, there's just one more skill I'd like to show you.
And the thing is, it's just the skills for the swords. It's not even really the class. Basically every class can do this if they are just using swords. It just depends on, you know, how are you building specifically.
World Cutter. Charge it up and unleash the ultimate slash. But that's not all. Like so many of the duelist abilities, it can be further enhanced with Blood Stance, or Sand Stance too. Alright, so those are just a few of the tools the duelist has at his disposal. So let's use them to face the true threat, Thrax, the champion of the arena.
Oh boy. I think that's the same guy we have seen him fight in a cinematic. Yes, it is. Oh, that's cool. The FPS just dropped. I see, I see. Man. This shit is insane. This fight, by the way, looks really... Wait, what?
Alright,
It looks really
so
cool.
that's a taste of what we have in store for the duelist. It's my favorite class I've ever
What
worked
the...
on.
Oh,
It
the
provides a
death
really
animation.
dynamic combat experience that's just quite unlike any other ARPG. But we also wanted to show what kind of possibilities there are for the duelist in the endgame. To do that,
Oh boy.
I'll hand things over to Mark.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. Today, we're going to go through 2 in-game builds that we've put together for the Duelist made by our developers. Our first build is called the Bringer of Blades, a mighty name once feared in the arena. This build is all about rising buried blades from beneath the ground. Some say each sword created by this build is from a foe slain in battle in the gladiator arena, and from the afterlife, they offer their sword back to you in respect. The bread and butter of this build uses Earthrend, supported by the lineage support Calm's Madness, to maximize
Okay.
the efficiency of creating buried blades. It combines that with the Blade Conduit skill, to charge up all the blades with lightning. You can also use the Astral Projector support on it to be able to do so from ranged, if you want to minimize risk and place shock ground underneath your enemies.
Oh, that's cool.
We also have Earthrend supported by Electrocute, so that we can keep the enemies crowd controlled. Then it's just simple. Spam Earthrend, occasionally using Blade Conduit to refresh the charged lightning on all the blades. For stronger
By the way, yes, the FPS is dropping in the video. Now, the video itself isn't, but, you know, the material that was recorded is kind of low FPS. Because there's so much shit going on. The usual for this game.
enemies, or larger packs, we want to be able to get sand stuns. The best way to do that while clearing is using Combat Frenzy. Simple, now you're generating frenzy charges.
Yep.
With those, we can use Sand Scour to enter sand stuns. And from sand stuns, use Blade Plunge to cause sand discs to appear on all of our many buried blades, covering the screen in storms of sand. Of course, you want to use eroding sands too, because as the sand discs are doing many small hits, you want to make sure enemies have as little armor as possible for maximum damage.
Sure.
Alongside that, since we're doing lightning damage, we're also going to throw in the new support Sandstorm, which causes our sand discs to become infused with lightning.
Oh boy.
The other tool we're using is this support, which causes all your buried blades to add miniature auras that give you damage.
Wait, what?
To double down on that further,
Oh my god, that's disgusting. I love it. This is so good.
we have this new passive skill Notable, which also causes your buried blades to make you angry, causing you to generate rage on hit while near them.
Of
With
course.
those, we want even more buried blades. So, let's take it to the extreme. And for that, we have this skill, Rain of Steel, which allows you to call down a whole ruckus of swords, covering the entire battlefield in buried blades. It's pretty obvious what to do next.
Yes.
Just use the existing combos, and the entire screen becomes surging with lightning as sand discs run wild.
Man, this is so good.
There's more coming even still. Alongside the Duelist, we've made a whole bunch of new epic swords.
Of
I
course.
mean, just look at them all. This build in particular uses this sword, which causes all your buried blades to be enhanced by Karui magic and become ancestrally boosted. Then,
Oh, great.
take these new passive skill notables,
Boosted skills grant onslaught on kill for 8 seconds. Nice.
specifically for boosted attacks,
Boosted skills have a 20% chance to intimidate on hit. Okay.
to improve your efficiency even further.
Skills gain 1 glory when you use a boosted skill. Okay.
There's a few new ways to boost attacks with the Duelist, and we're excited for you to discover and integrate them into your builds. With all that combined, look at this actual mayhem.
Looks really good. Oh,
Now, we tried to not use unique items on this build, as we wanted to show its potential with just standard gear and skills. But this next one is a different story.
oh boy.
So, let's move on to our second build. Here we have the Scourge Walker. For this build, we wanted to do Cyclone with a twist. For that, we're going to use some uniques, starting with a new sword being introduced alongside the Duelist, Oro's Sacrifice.
Looks cool.
This sword grants a ton of fire damage, at the expense of your physical damage, and grants a new skill called Infernal Step. Infernal Step itself is pretty fun, and pretty epic. Use it as you flicker around, burning enemies as you strike them. Be wary though, there are both upsides and downsides to using this skill consecutively.
Sure.
Each use gains you a stack of Sacrificial Flame. While this isn't inherently a downside, using Infernal Step while you have Sacrificial Flame causes you to take fire damage, and the more you have, the more you take. So
Okay.
you want to make sure you mitigate as much fire damage taken as possible.
Sure.
In order to do this, we're using even more uniques.
Of
Like
course.
these, which have received some changes. Molten Tenet and Zoph's Blood. Then, we've just gone and used good armor
Oh.
gear in our core armor slots to stack up as much defense as possible. So, what about damage? We're doing a few things here that are pretty out there. Given we're using Oro's Sacrifice, we're dealing purely fire damage. However,
Okay.
we still need to be able to bleed for some huge DPS you'll see soon. To do that, we're using this unique ring, Blistering Bond. This allows our fire damage to scale bleeding, instead
Do we only use do we only use uniques? Just returned from a mission in Aliens Fireteam Ally 2. I hope it went well. And this is so insane.
of physical damage. Our last unique is Barrack's Respite.
Of
As
course.
said originally, we want a Cyclone, which is a wind skill, and can benefit from elemental ground surfaces. Now, our Cyclone is a fiery vortex. One last thing to note before showcasing our Scourge Walker in action is that Oro's Sacrifice also grants you frenzy charges while
Yes, a lot of cool path of farming 2 stuff. A lot of it. This is so good. I'm looking so forward to December. I will no live this game for 2 or 3 streams, and then play it only off stream, because I'm not very entertaining, playing this game on stream outside of the campaign. The campaign is a maximum, and then the game gets quite stale, I think. Yeah, we made it to the end of the mission, was fine. Yeah. Good.
Maximum Sacrificial Flame. This will allow us to fold Bloodied Blade into our rotation between Cyclone sessions to get Blood Enhanced Cyclone. Alright, now you can see our basic rotation. First, we use Infernal Step a few times. Then, once we have a Frenzy Charge, we use Bloodied Blade. This puts us in Blood stance. And then it's simple. Cyclone away. As you can see, we have the perfect harmony of demonic powers. Blood and fire fill the screen. Honestly though, we need to add some horror and flesh to the build to really embrace the fantasy.
Really?
For that, let's use this new support gem, which we will put on our
Supported skills trigger flesh chunks when they inflict bleeding. What the fuck? Support attacks you use yourself, causing them to carve flesh chunks from targets when inflicting bleeding. What does it do? Please click on this. I wanna know if that does anything, like extra damage or something.
Cyclone. Given we're already bleeding, this can cause enemies to shed chunks of flesh when hit, which explode after a short delay.
Oh!
Check out this ruckus. Oh, and while we're at it, let's add even more fire by using the Fan the Flame support. At this point, you can already see how much this is getting out of control.
Yes.
I love it. You may notice we have an excess of frenzy charges. So, you want to throw on Echoing Strikes, which consumes all your frenzy charges to cause our next cyclone to create a bunch of cyclones. Feel free to add Infernal Cry to the mix, cause why not? Okay, well it's already pretty damn strong, but we can push it further. What about single target? For that, we're going to make use of our second weapon set, and use a one-hand sword and Targe, which grants parry. However, instead of using a regular Targe, we're going to use this Runeforged Targe,
Of course.
which grants us a special version of parry that maintains its stances when used. So if you are in Blood stance and use it, you will remain in Blood stance afterwards. This includes while using the dashing parry that Jonathan mentioned earlier. We are going to want our parry debuff duration to be as long as possible, so we can spend more time spinning. To get
Sure.
that, we're using another new sword base type. This one adds base duration to parry. We've also then invested into as much parry duration in this weapon set as possible on new passives on the tree. Now, we can make
Jesus.
this even better by using a new support that allows our parry to apply Armor Break. And to get it to benefit from our fire damage, we will anoint the Molten One's gift on our amulet. Now, our Armor Break causes enemies to take extra fire damage.
Oh.
So now, we just get into Blood stance using Bloodied Blade, use parry, which dashes in, keeping us in Blood stance, then we cyclone our way to glory. Don't forget to also use Echoing Strikes once you get enough frenzy charges. I mean, just look at this damage. You may
This is
have
insane.
noticed we didn't show any Ascendancy classes. That's right. These builds weren't even Ascended.
Wait,
so their
what?
build potential goes so much.
This is insane. This is insane. But does that also mean that they don't have the ascendancies ready yet? That's a concern that I have right now. But I guess they will, say that right now, because they don't go and hold back information like that.
Higher. And the Ascendancies are pretty epic. Here's some art to tease them.
They don't show them. They don't show them. They literally leave that for the main reveal in, I guess, November. And ExileCon. they will reveal all of that on ExileCon. That's where people will be able to play that for the first time too. Now, looking at the art, I like this one the most because, I mean, Knight. Just Knight. Give me, please.
But to find out more about that, you'll have to check them out when we show them at ExileCon later this year. We hope you enjoyed our Duelist demonstration.
See, ExileCon, I told you so.
We're really excited to have you get your hands on it and start slicing and dicing throughout Rayclast. Now, Path of Exile 2's full 1.0 launch is later this year on December 11th. But if you just can't wait till then, next week we are doing our 055 update, and it includes a bunch of changes as well as a new event.
Nice.
Given that, it's finally time to talk about Forbidden Rites, a new event based.
Okay. Forbidden Rites in the campaign? Wait, weren't they already in the campaign? I don't remember. Trial of Chaos rework? Yes. Faster Fortress completion? Yes. Runes of Aldor to core? Yes. New Wildwood encounters? Okay. New endgame soul cores? Oh Jesus, more items. Abyssal Ravens? Okay. New tablet type expedition? Okay. This isn't even a full league.
Based on the Ritual League that will be starting with our 055 patch next week. But that's not all. We also have a massive overhaul to the Trial of Chaos, some new in-game Abyss content, and more. So, let's dive straight into it. The King in the Mists and his cultists, left unchecked, have spread their influence. By his will, the Nameless have been performing gruesome rituals throughout Rayclast, all the way from the forests of Ogum to the deserts of the Maraketh, and even Utsal and the Karui Islands, afflicting everything around them with a foreboding darkness. As you can see, they've been quite successful in their efforts, and if not stopped soon, who knows what will become of Rayclast.
Interesting.
During the Forbidden Rites event, your goal is to put an end to their nefarious plans. In each area of the campaign, you'll find a ritual encounter. For those unfamiliar, these are effigies that are guarded by the Nameless and their servants. By defeating them within the ritual site, you can then activate the effigy and fight them again as they are revived by dark magic, all whilst various plagues will try to kill you. Defeating the revived monsters causes their blood to go to the effigy to be used as tribute. After the encounter, use the tribute you earned to acquire rewards. These rituals, unlike their in-game counterparts, will not exclusively reward unique items.
Okay.
And instead will give you a bunch of items useful for leveling, like currency for crafting your gear alongside a bunch of equipment. Ultimately, in every area, you get to kill some monsters and then go on a small shopping spree.
Sure.
However, we know people liked having unique item rewards from Ritual, and we wanted that to still be present in the campaign, but we just couldn't give one out in every single area.
Makes sense.
Throughout each act, 2 times, and once in each interlude part, you'll see these clusters of more epic ritual effigies on the world map. When you reach these areas, you'll notice that unlike normal, the effigies aren't just in a random location in the area, but they're on top of the area's boss fight.
Okay.
By completing these boss rituals, the boss will then be carried forward and added to the next ritual in the cluster in the next area, where you'll face it as part of an increasingly dangerous series of boss waves.
Of course.
For example, the first cluster you'll encounter is shown here, containing large effigies in Clearfell, Mudburrow, the Grelwood, and the Grim Tangle. If you complete the ritual in Clearfell, the Hag boss will appear during the ritual in the Mudburrow, alongside the Devourer. Once you've completed that area, the ritual in the Grelwood will include Brambleghast, alongside the Hag and the Devourer.
Makes sense, yeah.
Then, to top it off, when you get to Grim Tangle, the ritual in that area will have its boss, the Rotten Druid, and the previous 3, totaling 4 boss fights and 1 epic final showdown.
Oh boy.
That's where the unique rewards come into play. By completing these epic boss ritual encounters, you then get to spend your tribute on unique items.
Wait. I think that spear is new, or I've at least never seen it before. Deal no elemental damage, okay. Huh.
Given Ritual is the content of the League, we wanted to make sure it worked in multiplayer well. Historically, only the creator of the area gets to spend tribute at the end, while your friends just have to watch. We've made some improvements to this experience.
Good.
In 055, every party member earns their own tribute and can spend it on their own rewards, so no one has to miss out. In order to make it not too rewarding in groups, we've restricted it so party members are unable to reroll the shop and they have fewer options available to choose from.
Okay.
So that's the campaign and a multiplayer improvement. But what about the endgame? Given that Ritual was already available to be added to your maps, well, once you reach the endgame, you'll still have Ritual encounters in every area, and they'll still give unique items and omens, but we've added one extra mechanic here to add new difficulty and reward heights to your in-game maps. After completing Rituals in endgame, you want to keep an eye out for this item, a Sacred Bloom, which you can spend tribute on to acquire. If you happen to find one, you can then use it and apply an entrance to the Wildwood to an in-game map of your choice on the Atlas. Then, when you enter that map, you'll find this entrance at the start of the area. By entering it, you're sent into the Wildwood. You have limited time here, but while in the Wildwood you can find wisps, and you want to follow the trails of them and collect as many as possible. There are 3 different types of wisps: Primal, Vivid,
This is literally like a PoE1.
and Wild. When you then have to exit the Wildwood, the wisps are freed and will spread across the map, possessing and
PoE1.
influencing many monsters. Primal wisps, when freed, can cause normal monsters to become magic monsters. Vivid wisps, when freed, can add additional modifiers to rare monsters. And Wild wisps add rarity of items dropped to all monsters. If you're really lucky, keep an eye out for these Sacred Wisps. I wonder what they do. Of course, you can gather all 3 types of wisps if you really want to juice your maps. And by using ritual tablets, you can increase the amount of wisps found while in the Wildwood. Be warned though, while affected monsters drop better items, the wisps also empower them, making them considerably more difficult to defeat.
The usual.
So, that's the Forbidden Rites event. While it isn't a full league in the traditional sense, it gives you the perfect opportunity to start in a fresh economy. For those of you who enjoy having clear goals to work towards, this event league also introduces a new set of 8 challenges.
Oh boy.
These include completing the campaign rituals, defeating named rare monsters, reaching level 90, and more. Completing them will earn you 4 exclusive cosmetic rewards and a statue for your hideout to commemorate your success.
Oh man.
Swarm your enemies with the Locust Footprint effect,
No one cares.
and
Ah,
send
I
your
don't care.
foes scurrying to their demise with the Locust Swarm Finisher effect.
Ooh.
Fear the dark no longer with your Wildwood Guardian pet at your side, and level up in fashion with the Wildwood Affliction level up effect.
Perfect for a witch. Oh god. Yeah, that's neat.
Next, let's talk about the Trial of Chaos. Since Early Access launched, we've received a lot of feedback about the Trial of Chaos. It was just obvious that it wasn't good enough. So we've gone through pretty much every part of this trial and made improvements across the board. There's so much to cover here, so let's just fire away with some of the more important changes.
Thank god.
Starting with a banger. You can now leave the Trial of Chaos between rooms and resume later at your leisure.
Thank god.
Alongside improving almost every aspect of the encounter types, we've made far more of the rooms just about slaying all the enemies, instead of the more specific objectives like escorting the statue or implanting soul cores.
I like that because it makes everything just easier. And the stuff you're dealing with in Child of Chaos is already kind of hard, you know. So making it a little easier is good.
We've increased the size of that pesky elevator and made them more responsive. We've made the doors
That's
between
nice.
rooms open quicker and from
Good.
further away. We've shortened the distance between rooms to have less running. We've added a lot more inherent scaling to the area and to the Trial of Sekimas too, to account for the lack of Atlas Tree. We've made the Trial Master only time freeze to spawn in all the monsters once at the start of the run, instead of in many of the rooms. On top of that, we have done a full pass on all the modifiers, making them significantly less dangerous at lower tiers,
Thank
and rising
you.
to the same difficulty at their maximum tier. Additionally, all the modifiers now grant bonuses to item rarity too. The modifiers now also have better descriptions, being more
Nice.
explicit about what danger you're signing up for.
That's good.
We've also added a new kind of modifier, called a wager modifier.
What?
These are meta mods that can significantly increase the danger and reward of your trial. For example, this one increases the tier of every modifier already applied to your run,
Sure.
but in exchange for that, doubles all the currency you've earned so far in the run.
Wow.
There's about a dozen of these, and they have some pretty interesting effects. Sometimes you want to apply them early in the run, other times late. They add a very cool dynamic element to the mod selection between rooms. The Uxmal the Beast Lord boss fight in the Trial of Chaos has had its arena redesigned entirely. Less flying, more attacking.
Nice, good.
The more significant elite monsters that spawn during the Trial of Chaos are now more dangerous, but more rewarding.
Okay.
Speaking of rewards, you can now also find these chests between each room to get some bonus items for your efforts.
That's good.
And the rewards available when choosing modifiers no longer offer random corrupted items, now exclusively offering only currency items and soul cores.
That's good.
Oh, and we've
That's
done
really
a
good.
full balance pass on those too, to make them more powerful,
Of course.
alongside adding some new ones to the trial and endgame.
Makes sense, yeah.
Speaking of the trial and endgame, for those looking for a greater challenge, you'll no longer need to have to stop after 10 rooms. You can now
Oh.
continue all the way to room 30, with the
Wow.
difficulty and rewards escalating as you progress.
I think
Combined
that's
with
good.
the previously mentioned wager modifiers, the rewards of these runs can get very, very juicy.
Oh,
Reaching
that's
these
neat.
later rooms will also allow you to obtain all 3 Trial Master fragments in a single run, giving skilled players a clear and reliable path towards facing the Trial Master rather than leaving their progress entirely to chance.
Cool.
We've moved the functionality of the wager currency mechanic from magic inscribed ultimatums that could drop from the Trial Master into the base mechanic. This can be accessed at the end of every 10th room. Overall, this is a much more polished version of the Trial of Chaos, and we think it addresses many of the concerns players have raised over the past several months.
I would say so.
When we introduced the new endgame in Return of the Ancients, we wanted the journey through the fortress to feel epic, and it was. But your first time progressing through it, it is a massive undertaking.
Yes.
With a fresh economy, we wanted to make the fortress easier to complete. So in 055, we're making some changes. After completing the main quest line, you can now just venture out of the fortress and find another Arbiter of Divinity key.
Okay.
By defeating this more difficult version of the boss, all remaining sections of the fortress will be automatically completed.
Nice. Okay.
Now, onwards to Abyss. We're introducing a new Atlas feature centered around it. We wanted to add more things to find when exploring the Infinite Atlas. So, we've added these new abyssal ravines that can appear. Each map on the ravines has abysses in it, and as you complete each along it, the next map gets more and more rewarding as you push the Abyssal Legion back.
Okay.
When you reach the
That's
last
nice.
map on the ravine, you'll have a guaranteed Abyssal boss encounter. The Forbidden Rites event will not have Runes of Aldo content in each area. But fret not. Pharaoh, Danig, and Expedition content is still going to be available in the Atlas as core, and that includes standard leagues. You can now continue to find expeditions in-game, but from Act 4 onwards.
Okay.
In the
yeah,
endgame,
thanks.
expedition tablets will now be available, allowing for some new levels of investment into the league. Such as having 2 full expeditions in just one area. alongside up to 2 standalone
Okay.
Remnant encounters. With tablet mods, you can now even get many sentries per expedition, resembling an almost sentry minion build as you run around and apply runic modifiers to monsters across the maps.
Why have
The
I never seen
existing
them
Runes of
before?
Eldar League will continue to run, so if you want to keep playing there, finishing your endgame and
Wait, what?
runic modifiers to monsters across the maps. The existing Runes of Eldar League will continue to run, so if you want to keep playing there, finishing your endgame and completing challenges, feel free to do so. So that's all our new content.
That's neat because I haven't done that. I basically stopped playing almost, I don't know, 2 months ago or something like that.
It's summarized for this Event League and 055 update. In case you didn't see it alongside Path of Exile 1's release for Curse of the Allflame, here's a reminder to check out our supporter packs and mystery box that release with it, which are now fully available for use in Path of Exile 2 as well. These
Of course
include
they
the
are.
Plague and Remedis supporter packs, and the Curse of the Allflame mystery box, with some epic items including armor sets, weapon skins,
Yeah.
weapon
That one looks so good.
skins, weapon effects, map devices, hideouts, a new tracking scroll, some otters,
Otters.
and much more. If you would like to purchase the Curse of the Allflame mystery box, it's available now through the in-game shop and Path of Exile 2 website. For more information, head to pathofexile2.com/mystery box for all the details. We'll also be releasing
Wait,
some
what?
cool new armor sets and skill effects alongside this release.
Oh, this looks good. Oh my god. I like this. This is really nice.
Check these out. If you're interested, keep an eye out on the store with the new release. Thanks for your support.
Ooh. Now this screams Druid, right? Absolutely. This is just Druid. And I like it.
Now, we had originally thought we were going to deploy a much larger balance pass in this patch. But unfortunately, with all the other work going on for our 1.0 release, we were not able to get these changes ready in time. It's been a lot more work than we expected. So rather than deploy something substandard, we decided it would be better to take our time with the balance changes and just release the Event League anyway.
Sure.
All those balance changes that were slated for 055 will now be happening in 1.0 instead. The full release patch is shaping up to be a huge one.
So when I see that correctly, the next PoE1 league should come out in October, right? Makes sense, yeah.
If you haven't done so yet, you can acquire exclusive milestone rewards just by signing up at pathofexile2.com for the 1.0 full release. Also, we hope you join us for ExileCon on November 7th New Zealand time to see what else we've been cooking up. But in the meantime, we hope you enjoy the Forbidden Rites event, which starts at the end of next week. See you in Rayclast.
Oh, this was good. This was actually good. Oh my. I can't wait for 1.0. Now I'm not so stoked on the next league because it's kind of whatever. Maybe I play a new build in it. I don't know. I'm actually looking more forward to where is it? Playing War Dogs in 2 weeks. Still haven't bought the game, but you know I'm looking forward to it. Still looking forward to it. Then yeah, chat. No, not chat. YouTube. Are you also excited about 1.0? Are you going to play with swords too? And do you care about 0.55? Because I kind of don't. Just let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. End of the video. Bye bye.